Okay, in session 4 we are going to study about microwave tubes, and we are going to study about the different types of microwave oscillators and what are the advantage and disadvantage of microwave tubes also. We are going to look over that. Now let us see what are the microwave tubes and how the what is the physical structure of microwave. So in the early stage of electronics in 19th century, in 1940s and all, before the invention of transistors, when we don't have any transistors, earlier in all electronic devices, all electronic circuits are going to be implemented. All electronic circuits are going to be implemented by using vacuum tubes. What this tube consists of? It's a glass structure which are going to be tightly packed, and inside that we don't have anything. It's completely filled with vacuum, and that particular vacuum tubes are going to be used for all electronic, especially the general electronics application. Basic electronic circuits or devices, the main application of those devices are they are going to be used for amplification, oscillations and switching and many other operations. Every electronic circuits or electronic device, their basic purpose is to act as a switch, as it's a known factor for us. So we expect switching mechanism, we expect amplification. Similarly, we want oscillations. So earlier, before transistor came into the scene, we were using microwave tubes for amplification purpose, oscillation purpose, switching and many other basic operations. So if you have just have looked to the slide, you find the vacuum tubes which are being placed, as you can observe. So these are the vacuum tubes which we were using for amplification, oscillation and switching. So what are all the limitation of conventional devices at microwave frequency? So why we cannot use conventional device for microwave frequency? As we are seeing since the beginning of the classes, I told you, as the signal frequency increases, the strength of the signal is increased in such a manner that we cannot use ordinary or conventional device for sending for transmitting the microwave frequencies. Very high frequency signals, which is SHF, UHF, EHF, these signals have very high power. They are high power signals. They cannot be tolerated. They cannot be tolerated by the conventional device, or we can say the circuits which are available in electronics. So now, if we are using conventional device, what are all the main drawback? What are the main limitation? Why we cannot use these conventional devices for microwave frequencies? That we have to see. The first and foremost is inter-electrode capacitance and lead inductance effect. Inter-electrode capacitance. See, yesterday in previous session I told you, whenever two conductors are separated by dielectric media, whenever two conductors are separated by some dielectric or insulating media, then that particular environment act as a capacitive effect. We are not placing any capacitor there, but instead it acts as a, it will give the capacitance effect. Similarly, we have lead inductance effect. Capacitance as well as inductive effect will alter. Basically, they are filters. They are used in filters. They are used in oscillation to generate the oscillations. So high frequency signal, these effects will cause the high frequency signal, will affect the high frequency signal. Second is transit time effect. Transit time is nothing but the time taken by the electrons. The time taken by the electrons to pass from cathode and can be collected by the anode. It is the transit time. Whenever we are exciting the potential, negative potential, the electrons are going to be ejected, or they are going to be emitted by the external force, and from that emission or ejection they are going to have the propagation or movement, and it is being collected or it is being gathered at the anode. The time taken by the electrons is called transit time effect. Third is gain bandwidth product limitation. So we have seen yesterday the microwave frequency have limited bandwidth. It cannot accommodate more and more bandwidth. That's why if you take these two parameters, gain and bandwidth, since we have limited bandwidth, the product of gain bandwidth parameter, the product of gain bandwidth parameter is going to be reduced. we expect this parameter with a high value. Gain bandwidth parameter must be high, and in this case it's reduced. And fourth important limitation is RF loss, radio frequency loss. We have high frequency loss in 2-3 ways. One is the skin effect, second is dielectric losses, third is radiation losses. Skin effect, as we have already come across with, high frequency is going to be concentrated, it's going to be multiplied, which in turn influences to the unwanted signals, and they are going to affect in a reverse manner, that we call as skin effect. We have the dielectric loss. Dielectric media, of course, it cannot passes the frequency or current, as it's a known factor for us. Any dielectric media which are we considered as insulators, like we have wood, plastic, they cannot conduct for the electricity. But for the high frequency signal, for very high frequency signal, especially microwave signals, so this dielectric media, they are going to be absorb the energy. For low frequency signal, dielectric media, it doesn't pass, or it doesn't absorb the energy. But in case of high frequency signal, the two in very high range, we find that dielectric media will going to absorb the energy. So whenever there is an absorption, it cannot be utilized for that. Simply the energy is going to be wasted, and that waste we call as dielectric loss. Similarly, we have radiation loss. When high frequency is passed through the media, some sort of energy is going to be wasted in the form of radiation. In other way, we used to say I square R loss, which is nothing but it is the radiation which is not at all useful. We are not expecting to radiate. We expect radiation from antenna. We don't expect radiation through the channel, the transmission channel. We don't expect any radiation. We want 100%, we expect 100% radiation from the antenna. So if the channel or line, they themselves radiate, that particular energy is going to be wasted, and that waste we call as radiation loss. I hope this is clear for you. Is it clear? Yes? Are you getting? Are you getting the things? Give the reply, say loudly. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Now let us move on to what are all the vacuum tubes, different kinds of generators, high frequency or microwave frequency generators. We have plenty of generators, and for you to study, we have 3-4 types of generators or oscillators of microwave signals. In that, first and foremost, the oscillator or generator of microwave frequency is klystron. Klystron is very simplest microwave vacuum tube. It is the vacuum tube generator which generates very high frequency, that is the microwave frequency. It used for the amplification as well as generation. We can have two parameters here. We expect generation. Similarly, the amplification of high carrier, microwave signals. The operation of klystron is basically depends on velocity modulation. Here it's very important to understand what is this velocity modulation. We have come across with the modulation, right? What is a modulation? Yes?
Modulation
Modulation is the process of
Yes, tell me. Modulation
modulation is the process of changing amplitude and frequency.
Yeah. Whenever we come across with the word modulation, is nothing but the variation or the change. We expect the change in amplitude or frequency of carrier in accordance with the modulating signal. So that is the basic fact we studied about modulation. But here in microwave generators we have different phenomena. Here the modulation term is completely referred just for the variation. What variation, to whom we have to vary, that we need to understand here. We know what is the velocity. Velocity is nothing but rate of change of speed. Rate of change of speed is called the velocity. Means time to time, for the different time we are expecting different speed. The speed we are going to alter. The alteration of speed is called the velocity. The rate of change of speed, the rate at which speed changes is called the velocity. Then we have velocity, one side, another side we are having modulation. Velocity as well as modulation, they are two different things. Velocity confined to speed and modulation confined to variations. So in these two different terms, we need to understand one fact. We expect variation, and at the same time we expect variation in terms of speed. since the velocity term is added. So we are expecting variation in something for the change of speed. We are altering something with respect to the speed. So here, especially in microwave generators and in klystron, what we are expecting is we have the electron movements, and that electron movement, the speed of electron movement, the electron movements are going to be altered. Their speed is going to be altered with respect to time. We are changing the speed. We are varying the speed of electrons which are emitting from the cathode and are being collected by the anode. Cathode in the emit ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, anode ಹೋಯ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So while the journey of electron begins, what we are doing is, as soon as electrons are emitting, there each and every electrons which are being emitted, what we are doing is we are changing or we are altering the electrons which are passing from cathode. We are not allowing each electrons to move with the same speed. We don't want each electrons to move in the same speed and are being collected by the anode. Our intention is, in velocity modulation, our intention is each electron should have different speed. By some means, by providing some mechanism, we are making each and every electrons which are coming from cathode to have the different speed. Each and every electrons to have different speed, and that process of making the speed of electrons to alter is called velocity modulation. This particular point you need to remember, and it is the basic of each and every generators or oscillators of microwave frequency generation. Whether it is klystron or whether it is reflex klystron, we have different types of generators. So almost all generators use this mechanism or this phenomena. We are making electrons to have different speed by having the velocity modulation mechanism. Let us see that. So klystron have 2-3 types. One is true cavity klystron amplifier, multi-cavity klystrons, and reflex klystron. Here we are going to study about two cavity klystron and reflex klystron. So we have two cavity klystron diagram. You just have a view of two cavity klystron. Here we are having electron gun it's basically a tube. You should remember that we are generating the microwave frequency in vacuum tubes. Likewise, it's a tightly packed glass tube. One side we are having electron gun, another side we are having collector, which is nothing but anode. We are providing positive potential to the anode, negative potential to the cathode. So electron gun is followed by, we have focusing electrodes, and those electrodes you can see in the figure, the blue lines have been given. So this focusing electrodes, they provide a magnetic field, and they are followed by two cavities. One cavity we call as buncher, another cavity we call as cacher. We have two cavities separated by a distance, and that distance we call as drift space. One cavity we call as input cavity, cacher cavity we call as output cavity. Why we call them as input cavity? We are feeding the RF input to this cavity, and cacher cavity we are getting output, RF output from cacher cavity. That's why we call input as well as output cavity. So this drift space, or the space between the two cavities, we have placed electron bunches, and output cavity is followed by a anode, and anode and cathodes are provided by a potential. This is the total block diagram of two cavity klystron. Now let us see how this klystron is going to operate. If you see the construction, high velocity electron beams is formed, focused, sent down a long glass tube to the collector electrode, which is at high positive potential with respect to the cathode. As you have seen in the figure, anode is provided by high positive potential. So this anode is acting as a collector for the electrons. He is waiting electrons. As soon as it comes, it catches the electrons. So anode is provided with high positive potential, whereas cathode is provided with high negative potential. So as I said, it consists of cathode, focusing electrode, followed by two bunches grids or cavities, and two catcher grids.
Sir, screen ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Now ಈಗ
ಇವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಲೈಡೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನನ್ಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಪಿತಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅರ್ಪಿತಾ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸರ್.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Right. So we have come across with two cavity klystron. So here the input and output are taken from the tube via two cavities, which we call as resonant cavity, with the help of coupling loops. This is the two cavity klystron. Here we are having buncher cavity as well as Casher cavity. One cavity we are feeding the RF input, another cavity we are getting the RF output. RF is the radio frequency signal which is being amplified and increased to give the microwave signal. The picture is clear. Here we are having focusing electrodes, electron gun, the distance between the two cavities we call as drift space, and finally we have the collector. The focusing ring controls the number of electrons in the electron beam and serves to focus them. The main function of these focusing electrodes is to guide the electron to propagate or to have the flow in one particular direction. Since it is a vacuum tube, electrons they may drift. Each electrons they can have their own path. That's why each and every electrons to flow in a single path, we are going to use focusing electrodes by providing the magnetic field. Thereby each and every electrons which are coming from the cathode or which are coming from the electron gun is going to be focused to follow the same path, and it has to go, the journey is from electron gun to the collector. Collector always waiting electrons, right? The basic operation of this two cavity klystron is based on the following three processes. We have three processes in this oscillator. What are the three processes? First we call as velocity modulation, second is bunching, third is current density modulation. So I come across with velocity modulation. I told what is meant by velocity modulation, why it is called velocity modulation, right? Now other two processes we are going to see through the operation. So what is nothing, what is the process of bunching or bunching of electrons? Is velocity modulation is clear, or I need to explain again? I want reply. Velocity modulation clear ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
See, velocity is nothing but it is always we are going to have with respect to speed. Rate of change of speed is called velocity. Modulation is nothing but alteration. In a single term, single word ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್. ಟೈಮ್ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದರೆ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟೈಮ್ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾರ್ದು ಸ್ಪೀಡು? ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ನ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು? So what you have seen the diagram, the whole setup is meant for that. Electron gun ಇಂದ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. We need to control their speed. ಈಚ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ನಾವು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ or altering of the speed of individual electrons. Individual electron speed change ಮಾಡುವ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್. ಏನಿದು ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎ, ಬಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಿ ಅಂತ. ಈ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಗನ್ ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So while it is emitting from the electron gun, we have the time gap of 3 electrons. Electron A with time Ta, electron B with time Tb, electron C with time Tc. So they are emitting at different times, Ta, Tb, Tc anta. While they are transmitting, while they are emitting, ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗಳಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ಬಂತು. ಈಗ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಪ್ರತಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಕೆಲವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡು, ಕೆಲವುದು ಸ್ಲೋ, ಕೆಲವುದು ಇನ್ನೂ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್, ಕೆಲವುದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಅಂದರೆ, 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಹ ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಗ್ಯಾದರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ ದ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ should come and gather at the single point that you are looking in the figure. For example, B electron first ತಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. It is transmitting with normal speed. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಬಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೀಚ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಬಿ. ಬಿ ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಗ್ಯಾದರ್ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಟ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಈಸ್, we are making the speed of a electron is little bit slow, so that A and B can match and they are going to be collected at single point at the same time. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ 3ನೇ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, the electron C, which travels after the electron B is being emitted. B emit ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲವು ಹೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇಫ್ C has to reach with the same time as B and A has reached, C ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಸಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. B is traveling without velocity change, with normal velocity, but A as well as C are going to be altered, and this alteration of speed of electrons we call as velocity modulation, and we expect this modulation. Getting? Is this clear? I expect reply. ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ನೌ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್? Bunching is nothing but when n number of electrons are gathered at the same place and at the same time. Electrons, they themselves have the power. At the same time, if multiple electrons are gathered at the same place, then that gathering, or we can say accumulation of electrons at the same place at the same time leads to higher energy, and this process we call as bunching of electrons. ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. At the same time multiple electrons are coming and gathering at same place. We have the higher energy, and that gathering and that accumulation we call as bunching. Similarly, current density modulation. The amount of current in a particular area we call as current density. How much current is there in this particular area? And if we are keep on varying the current with respect to time, we are changing the current, the volume of current is called current density modulation. Variation or change is called modulation. Here,
ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
bunching.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
See, when n number of electrons, ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಕೂಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ್ರೆ, at the same time n number of electrons are accumulated at same place. ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸು ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Now, the current density modulation. Modulation is the variation. Current density ಅಂದ್ರೆ current with particular area. ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಇದೆ, ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಆ ಕರೆಂಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ನಾವು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? Now, that is how our this particular amplifier is going to be work. Now you see the electron guns. First of all, we are providing positive potential to the anode, negative potential to the electron gun. Electron gun keep on emit the electrons, and those electrons are to be guided by a focusing electrodes. A blue color focusing electrodes na electron na guide ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. electrons flow ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, right? flow ಆಗುವಾಗ we are providing some electron bunches. So bunches is, they are nothing but they are accelerating electrons to gather on one side. That's it. Now normal speedily electrons are going to flow. Each and every electrons which are emitting from electron gun have the same velocity. Now what you are doing? You need to change the velocity. How you are going to change? You are changing that velocity by feeding some RF input. ಆ ಬಂಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ RF ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫೀಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪವರ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಪಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ we are again getting the power. So depending on the value of RF, the speed of electrons or velocity of electrons are going to be altered. So these electrons are going to be altered. So they have their path. So after electron bunching, due to the variation in the speed of electrons, the electrons are going to be bunched or collected. Instead of single electrons, they have the transmission. We are getting multiple electrons in this particular area. So and due to that combination, we are getting the higher energy, and which is taken out as RF energy from the catcher cavity, and we are taking back to the outer side through the coaxial loop. ನಾವು ನಿನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, we have used loop as well as probe. ಈ ಎರಡರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಮೈಕ್ರೋವೇವ್ ನ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ತೆಗಿಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ coaxial loop we are using as a probe to get the microwave energy from the catcher cavity. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಶರ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಮೈಕ್ರೋವೇವ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಆಚೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, whenever electrons emit from the electron gun, it is going to be collected by collector ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So we are placing two cavities. The intention of placing two cavities is to have the velocity modulation, to have the bunching process, and to have the current density modulation. Electrons ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆನೋಡ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಥ್ರೂಟ್ ದ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಯು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಈ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿನೂ ಸಹ ಮಾಡ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ RF ಇನ್ ಇಂದ. ಮೈಕ್ರೋವೇವ್ ಆಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈಡ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ RF output. So this is how this particular diagram is going to work. Is this clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
If you come to the application, we have UHF transmitter, radars, long range radars, linear particle accelerator, troposcatter links, earth station transmitter which is used in satellites. So these are the few two cavity klystrons we are going to use in these applications. You need to remember those. So here we have listed the team who are making the e-content for the students. our video also going to be uploaded in the websites. You can have download at any point and you can view at number of times. So this is our team which is developing the advanced communication e-content for classes. Now let us go through some multiple choice questions. I expect you to answer me loudly so that I can listen properly. First question, in a two cavity klystron, the output is taken from Cashel cavity. Here answer itself being given. In a two cavity klystron, the output is taken from, we have two cavities, one is Buncher, another is Cashel. Power loss occur due to
Option A.
others. Anybody else?
Dielectric loss.
Yes, others? All the above. I discussed the same in this session. We have all the three kinds of losses in power loss we have in microwave devices. Two cavity klystron is microwave.
Amplifier.
Amplifier.
Absolutely. In a two cavity klystron, the input is applied to
Buncher cavity.
Buncher cavity.
Buncher cavity.
Right. The cavity in a klystron produce dash modulation. Due to this cavity, we are getting modulation. What kind of modulation?
Velocity.
Velocity modulation. Right. Operating of two cavity klystron is based on
All of the above.
All of the above.
all of the above. Right. In a two cavity klystron, the output is taken from
Catcher cavity.
Cavity.
Catcher cavity.
This is the end of session. If you have any kinds of doubt, you are very free to ask the questions.